Alright, we're going to go and do the podcast, guys. People don't realise that when you're in a construction industry, you get to travel around, you get to see different things.
And if you want to, you can go and work anywhere in the country tomorrow. You've only got to sit and apply for the job. Yeah, anywhere in the world.
No two jobs are the same.
The sense of community as well. You've got the big site mentality where everyone's got the banter and they're mucking in. You're mates with people that might live miles away, and you're being in a WhatsApp group with someone that you've never met.
And I do love that. That's so cool. It's really funny, isn't it? Like, we're in this industry, but then we all come home or we spend our dinner breaks or tea breaks watching other people. Oh, I like the way that guy's doing this. It's really cool. It's like, my wife looks at me and goes, "You saddo."
I've said it a few times. You can make so much money now by not. My little brother, for instance, as we were talking about, makes so much money on TikTok by not doing physical labour work, and I think that is the sort of the same thing that's happening across the board. A lot of the young kids now are like, well, we can make money by sitting on a computer and not actually sweating my back out all day long.
I never considered myself old till I was sat there in the van with my two apprentices and their combined age was still younger than me.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of, well, this one's not the NYH podcast, it is the Trades of the Round Table, and today we've got a lot of different people here today. I was going to use the same word as I used last time, but I couldn't think of a different one, so we just went with that. But today we're all around the table again. We're going to chew the fat, talk everything construction, what we're up to, tools, what we see is happening in the industry and what needs to change and what we enjoy and what we dislike about it. And if you've got anything to talk about or want us to talk about, let us know in the comments down below. So, Tony, I guess we best hand it to you.
Awesome, thank you guys for all coming. It's really cool to get you guys here. So one of the big things for me, Rob, is the talking to people about how they perceive the industry at the moment, and what sort of ideas or thought processes they think that would help benefit people coming into the industry. Because I know Dave's got apprentices on, and
not at the moment.
Not at the moment. It's something that you potentially it's doing in the past. And then obviously, Mike, you've got apprentices on. You do like a big four. Wow,
I got four.
You've gone into that plunge,
we've gone for it. Homegrown. We're trying to keep them forever. And that's the
full advantage of the extra funding. I'd
like to think so. It doesn't really make that much difference, but it is. They're definitely worth it. Definitely.
If anybody doesn't know, Mike does an awesome YouTube channel as well as Instagram, and sort of you've done your journey, haven't you, with the YouTube with your apprentices, haven't you? And I think that's like really, really good because it's very inspiring for other people who want to come into the trade, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously now, let's face it, all the kids have got the phone in there. I've just had a meeting the other day about our kids, but I say when I refer to the kids, it's actually our apprentices. I call them.
The flock,
the kids, our kids. But we run the company very much as a family-based thing, so that's why they are our kids. But yeah, and it's important to because they all know. Let's face it, they're better than us on the phones and stuff, and I think it's important to try and for them to showcase their work as well and be proud of what they're doing, and also it also helps someone else if they're looking at going, I want to come into the industry. This is what I do. I mean, our last lad that we've just employed, he actually watched all of our videos, which he mustn't have been able to sleep at night. But he was watching those because obviously when he come to the interview, he felt a lot more comfortable. He's like, I know Mikey, I know Stevie, and Sean is, and he felt a lot better, and it was a completely different aspect of it. And I thought, it's just great, it's. They are the future, so you've got to try and promote as much as you can,
Well, I like that journey that you do with them, so they're all like kind of then doing their own sort of video content and stuff like that, which is really, really cool. And obviously doing that would allow them to then sort of gain a huge amount of confidence by doing that, because one of the things that Alex from Carpentry, it really pushed his confidence and pushed him that way forward. How do you find it, Dave, with your guys? This sort of
definitely, I think I do try and encourage them more to go on camera and things like that. I mean, one of them who's with me quite a lot of the days, he's happy to be on camera and he's quite comical, he's quite funny, he's your typical 17-year-old. The other one I've got, actually, one of the first things he did when he started with me back in August was he started his own Instagram account as the Old Apprentice. So he sometimes shares what he's done on the day and things like that. I've encouraged him. I said to him, you need to upload a little bit more often. But he chats to brands on there and he interacts with other people on there. And And yeah, he'll put stuff on there that that wouldn't quite make it to my page, but because he's really proud of that little bit that he's done that day, and then he shares that, and I think it's really, really nice. I think it's definitely a tool for growing, because even like they're at college, obviously doing their apprenticeship on day release, and they tell me that some of their mates from college follow the Instagram page. And are sort of, in awe that they're working with us and they're part of, Team Elwood and they're there.
Team Elwood, I like
that.
Yeah, that's it. So
and then they're there in college, stood next to them after they've been watching their mate from college, on the Instagram. I even had it where one of the lads I interviewed for Apprentices last year. I only intended to take one on. And I did take advantage of the government incentive that they were trying to encourage.
I think it was a good thing to do. That was.
Yeah, they put an extra £3,000 grant money into each apprentice, which I think is brilliant. If there's more of that, more people are taking on. Someone's telling you
it's a very limited time span as well, which I think is a shame, because you only, it's not like you don't instantly go, here's £3,000, take your in. It's over a stage, and obviously what I was trying to, because we've got a really good relationship with our college, is we said, look, even if we get that, it helps buying their, workwear and their kit, and buy some tools and stuff like that to go, look, how you going? So it all helps.
Because it does cost you money as a business. You have to up your insurances, you have to provide them with all the gear. You're bloody fetching and carrying them until they start driving. I mean, luckily both of mine are doing their driving lessons at the moment, so it's a little race to see who can pass the test. Who's got to pick up the other one? That's
I love it.
But I think it's fantastic, and I'd only intended to employ the one, and it was only for the fact that I had a vacancy because I had a lad leave. That I just put a message out on my Instagram and said, looking for another pair of hands, unskilled labour or whatever. And it was just one of those things. So a couple of guys that follow me, their best mate's son had finished school that summer, hadn't really got a career in mind, didn't know what he was doing. So he was at college doing the general building course, which is sort of the thing they stick kids on if they don't know what to do with them.
It's a maintenance.
Sort of like a maintenance, but they basically they can't get an apprenticeship in it.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything, does it?
They do a bit of they learn how to cut a bit of wood.
Do you think that was like kind of guided towards that they wanted
local authority work?
Yeah, it was just like also it allowed them for the kids of today to sort of dip their toe in the water.
I think so.
It's a taster course.
I think so, but unfortunately, from the feedback that I got, it's a bit of a DOS course because the kids that are in it are the ones that didn't know what they want to do.
Right.
So they just sort of throw all these lads together who haven't really got an idea of where they want to be going or what they want to be doing. So you can obviously imagine they're not getting through much work and not getting through much. They're not taking it seriously. But so this guy got in touch with me and he, because his friends followed my Instagram account.
Yeah, cool.
And he said, my lad's at college doing general building. Would you, give him a chance? And I said, I'll give him a trial, and if he's any good, I'll sign him up as an apprentice, let alone a labourer, because he has to be in some form of education anyway. And I ended up, I said to him, I'll give you a 2-week trial, see how you get on. Within 2 days, I was already ringing the college.
Try and kill him in the first couple of days. It
was the opposite. He was a really good lad, apart from the fact that he was calling me old. But I never considered myself old till I was sat there in the van with my 2 apprentices, and their combined age was still younger than me.
And you were saying, Ash, that obviously you've had apprentices on something that you're looking at potentially later in the future. How have you found the dealing with younger people and sort of trying to pull them and talking about the industry as younger people?
Yeah, I've found it okay, but the one thing I've found is it's the drive in them. I've said it a few times, you can make so much money now by my little brother, for instance, as we were talking about, he makes so much money on TikTok by not doing physical labour work, and I think that is the sort of the same thing that's happening across the board. A lot of the young kids now are like, well, we can make money by sitting on a computer and not actually sweating my back out all day long.
Yeah, so you think that's that like kind of everybody's like kind of younger generation's mentality?
The hard labour.
They're thinking, it's an easier life. Let's go and do that.
Of course,
Do you think that stole from the way they've been brought up by the parents? So if the parents don't have a physically demanding job, look, the dad doesn't work on a building site or the mum doesn't work on a building
site. I think that definitely helps. Look, so with my dad, it's all I've ever seen growing up. Every house we lived in was being done up. So I've seen the hard work day in, day out, living at home and at work, So I think that plays a big part into it, but I think a lot of people just generally look at you look
Easy
at
money.
old builders, you know, a lot of us, you get older, you start
Your knees are
crippling.
knackered.
You're walking a little bit funny.
I'm sat here constantly thinking I need to sit properly here because of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's great in a sense because it does keep you in good physical health as well, in shape when if you're working hard all the time. But I think a lot of them just see an easy way out of.
They look at it as well and they go, well, I what we found with some of the lads that we were looking at taking on when we put out for another apprentice, we got so many requests, which is great. But we thought, right, you know, this time we're going to do a lot of like FaceTime ones. And one of the guys, it was for an electrical apprentice, to be obviously an electrician, and the lad we were interviewing, he said, how much money am I going to make? And I was like,
wrong question.
So I was like, that's great. And he goes,
starting with the wrong mindset.
Yeah, and I was like, how I heard that you earn loads of money, so that's what I want to do. And then I want to be with you as soon as I'm qualified. I want to go out on my own. And I'm like, really? You're not. This is not for me, mate. And so you know, but there are great lads out there.
Yeah, I think that.
But I think this is what you have to you get like working through, and I think that
fish through them, isn't it?
It's really hard.
But I think also it's not just like the kids' mentality of now. I think also that if schools went back to that old philosophy, like when I was at school, you know, we touched on it last podcast, where if you did a little bit of engineering, you did a little bit of woodwork, and you did something else. I do think because they've taken that all away and sort of kids then sort of really pushed down another avenue instead of the construction. It was like, why aren't kids then saying, actually, you should look at going into a trade because you can earn really good money, you get job satisfaction, continuity of work, you know, there's always something different you're doing, isn't there?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any one part of my life journey doing the industry where I've not sort of done something completely different or meeting different. It's just so good for that.
I think the longest I've ever worked in one place is about 18 months because not by moving companies, but it's different places. You can't
different locations.
Yeah, that's the word.
And that's the thing, because I mean, for me, I get very itchy feet after 6 months. I'm like, I need to be on a different site now because I've had enough of this, you know. And it's, but obviously with my business, obviously even I got two other business partners, but my main role is I'm an electrician, so it's quite nice. So I might do, you know, a month here, and then I'm like, right, I'm off to go and do a few other little reactive work, and it's great. But if we're stuck in one place, that just drives me mad. And I think that people don't realise that when you're in a construction industry, you get to travel around, you get to see different things.
Every day is different, and if you want to, you can go and work anywhere in the country tomorrow. You haven't got to sit and apply for the job. Yeah, anywhere in the world.
No,
you could literally turn up, say, I'm a chippy, I'm a brickie, whatever, and there's someone who needs you to work for them there.
I can't see of any other job or any industry that gives you this much flexibility.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like the diversity of it is immense. You know?
And it is uncapped earning. You can earn what you want to earn.
Yeah.
Do you know, if you decide that you make this amount a day and you need more money, you can go and work the nights. And you can put double shifts in, and you can go and earn any amount of money that you want to earn.
It's exactly the same with bricklaying. Like, I know I can wake up and go, what do I want to earn today? Right, okay, and you could get to 1 o'clock and be like, what about money for today? Or you can do what I do a lot of times and just keep going through until whatever time. You're like, I built all that today, Lord, you know. And that's the best thing about it, isn't it? You earn what you want, but what you put in, you always get out. Basically, it's facts.
There's definitely a flaw in the system that discourages kids from coming into construction. Because I think back to even my apprenticeship. You're talking 20 years ago. You know, when I was 16, I did my apprenticeship with a really big company, one of the biggest shop fitting companies in the country. And when I went for my interview, there was 21 lads that interviewed and did a bench test. And by the time I finished with that company 3.5 years later, they hired the only 2 kids that came for interview.
Wow!
Right. So I had to fight off 20 other lads to get that one job. And by the end of it, we had a couple of crap lads that weren't interested. They weren't skilled. They didn't have the right mentality or whatever. But the company had to take them on because they had a policy of hiring 1 or 2 apprentices every year.
Do you think when we're in school, so I'm similar age to you then, Dave, that everybody said, you need to do IT. You need to go and do a job with computers. And I think all of us here were probably we were talking about it over lunch, that none of us are very good at the paper. Well, I think you're an exception.
I'm not, mate.
No, we're not that minded, are we?
No.
We're practically minded. And I think there was, for a long time, everybody was like, technology is the way to go forward, and we need to do that. And you need to be working in an office behind a desk. And it's left a huge void, I think, in our industry.
Yeah, I mean, Dale was saying that like kind of last week. He was saying that obviously the problem with the industry, everybody was pushed to go down the academic route, and I think with Boris's announcement, I think it was about nearly 12 months ago, he wants to start pushing people back into apprenticeships, having the pushing that side, and that we want to embrace that, and then obviously because of all the channels everybody's doing now, and then creating this kind of sense of community, I think definitely with everybody pulling together as a whole kind of community, it's really changing the industry.
Yeah. I think there's been a definite shift in it because like for all the we were saying earlier on, like obviously the kids. The apprentices that we've got, it's like a lot of all their mates watch it. They're like, "Oh, that's great! We all watch this. It's really good. I know what you've been doing this week. And it was all that, and it's brilliant. Like, oh, I should do that." Whereas I think if, like you were saying about the schools, let's face it, we're all sitting here. We've all been in the industry a long time. We probably all knew that we're not going to go into an office and work.
Yeah.
So you know that from when you're like 13, 14. So why aren't they like this maintenance course that they do? I don't understand why they don't offer that at school and go, well, let's give these girls and and boys, let's give them an insight on what it could be at school level.
That's a great show.
Because if they do that, you might go, actually, I can be focused, and they could be coming into college at 16, almost a year ahead of where they should be.
Yeah. Hungry and have an idea of what trade they are, not only that they want to do, but they might actually be best at. Some guys might be fantastic plasterers because they're good at repetitive work, or sometimes people might be more technically minded and want to go into.
They'll be ahead of the game
into electrics,
because there is going to be a massive lull. I mean, let's face it, I'm 38. And you think, well, okay, likelihood I'm going to be on the tools maybe till I'm 50 if I'm lucky. And then you start looking at it thinking, well, okay, well, what happens to everyone else when they're starting to come through?
What's behind us?
And obviously as the businesses grow, as like with yours, you spend less time on the tools. So you think, who's going to fill that void? And if you've got a shortage of apprentices and skilled workers coming through, what are you going to do?
Definitely
do what my dad did, just create your own. He made 4 bricklayers. Got on in a gang band, just get 4 of them out.
Turn that telly off. This is happening.
You've got your forklift licence. This is happening.
This is my grand plan.
It'll all work out. It'll be fine.
So obviously all of us have gone into social media in different kind of aspects and ways, haven't we, guys?
Yeah.
You're on Instagram, Ash, and sort of how have you found that journey experience yourself? How has it sort of developed you as a person and your company and where you got to now?
I think definitely helps you with your confidence in a sense of like, I look back through my stories and for when I first started talking my stories to how I am now, I just put the camera on, waffle away, like, whereas prior to that, you sort of, hello, ducking and diving. But I think definitely in a confidence sort of, being able to talk. When we was on Clubhouse once and I first put a microphone on it and it stuttering. Whereas now, sat here now, I know we're recording, but I'm absolutely fine with it all because you gain your own experience by doing it in your van on your own, isn't it, basically, and things like that. So it definitely does help you as a whole. Carries yourself well as well, like,
And how about yourself, Dave? Because obviously you're massively championing the industry. You're sort of really pushing boundaries through the Instagram, like Ash is.
I think it's brilliant. It's something that I never even thought about doing until I got bullied into it by my sister. And then all I did was I saw just a little, a growth in following early on when I was just putting before and after pictures up, and then I started following other builder accounts that I never thought I'd be that interested in watching Ashley bricks or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? It's really funny, isn't it? Like, we're in this industry, but then we all come home or we spend our dinner breaks or tea breaks watching other people. Oh, I like the way that guy's doing this. This is really cool. And it's like, my wife looks at me and goes, "You sado." We
need to get you into golf.
You need to get a live, love.
It's the sense of community as well. You've got the big site mentality where everyone's got the banter and they're mucking in. You're mates with people that might live miles away, and you be in a WhatsApp group with someone that you've never met. And
I do love that. That's so cool.
It's really cool, and you actually it's a great way to find other tradespeople to work with. Like me and Ash have been working together for a little while now.
I've seen that. It's really, really cool. The first time you guys came together,
we've done a few jobs together. And there's more to happen. Even next week.
Exactly. Next week.
Even next week, so keep him busy.
So the question is like kind of people say to me like they're telling me, what do your brickies lay in a day? What is this big thing? Is what is the average of brick you should lay, guys? Come on.
Is that an average
bricklayer?
Yeah. So it's like,
an average bricklayer, you talk up to 400-600.
Yeah.
It's easy work, like you know. And you get some people like me that it's. My best number was 1740 in a day.
Wow,
That was a big decent number. Yes, that was my best day. And 600 conny blocks was my best in the day as well at Dudley Zoo.
Dudley.
And was all of that sort of work on price, was it?
It's all price, yeah.
So it's just like as you're laying, you're thinking, ka-ching,
that's the job. You just count.
Money magnet.
You say that, Tony, right? But I always used to tell our apprentices when I worked on the big brickwork firm, don't count. Just lay.
Yeah.
Because became too obsessed with counting.
Yeah.
They do a course and count him like it's the same as the course below. You know what you're doing.
Just
lay it.
Yeah.
And also, if you didn't, I suppose with that is if you, let's say you've done 800 that day, and all of a sudden you're going, next day you've done 7. You're like, you start beating yourself up. And why have I not done? You start chasing that money in that way, and it can't be good.
That's
for you.
the thing. Is it all sustainable though?
It's not. There's also the negative aspect of it. Like, not everyone's as good a bricklayer as Ash, and a lot of these new build sites, they're more bothered because they're being paid per brick and per block about how quickly they can get them down. And this is why people like Ash are having to go down there and tear them apart and rebuild them because they're not bothered about.
We just took a site on in Gloucester where I went down and
I heard you mention that earlier actually.
Ripped 6 houses back down to bottom, which we took on from another contractor, and the buildings were really poor. Really poor. And we ripped them back down, sledgehammer through it, and went again. Look, and
you can imagine that developer, that contractor you're working for. He's like thinking in his head, "Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening," and it's like the cost implication behind this as well.
But he's got to hold his hands up and see how many different people checked that house that it got to that stage. I mean, you used to manage big jobs like that. You know what I mean?
When we used to get bricklayers come on, and they'd say they'd come from a housing site, they'd never last on the commercial side that I did because they'd just be in that mentality of I can smash it up, it doesn't matter.
It's money over quality.
And although it was all price orientated, the work that I used to do, there was a lot higher standards. Like we spoke about, I worked on Coronation Street and done 1-6 training around a lot of MOD bases and stuff like that. And the quality has got to be there, but at the same time they've got to earn the money. So it's finding that balance between the two.
What causes that mentality? Because you can imagine,
I think it comes down to the people that they work for, because they know that they can get away with it. They will. And if they know that we can't work for this certain contractor, that they are a lot tighter on it, then they'll improve the standard. So yes, the bricklayers are doing bad jobs, and they shouldn't be doing it anyway. But they're just seeing the pound signs and going, "Oh no, I can get away with this. So I'm going to get away with it."
There's these guys who built these houses that are getting torn down, they're working on a different site today.
They've had their money.
They've got paid.
What
They've got paid. Their work's not good enough. They've been shipped off, or they've scarpered and gone to another site, or been told the work's not good enough. But they're still being paid from that one, and they're still building houses today.
But surely that should be allowed. This is where I do think that the whole industry needs regulating to another level. So basically, as soon as you're engaging with a contractor or a tradesperson, you're actually saying, right, this person's been vetted, or we create this whole community where all this is regulated to another level. So you don't have these issues like this, because that's just nuts and bonkers that you put in a load of 6 houses up and then now you're demolishing them.
So I'll give you an example on the electrical side, because obviously it's ours.
I know, but you guys always make allowances because you're hourly rate, isn't it, Mike? That's what it is.
You've got to factor these things in. But obviously we're regulated, So I go to a house and go, do you know, it's been done by another regulated contractor, and it's not good enough. It's dangerous. You've got loads of different things that are wrong with it. So you then tell the client, they're not very happy, as you can imagine. They've spent good money on someone else, so they report it. So what happens then is they report it to, regulating bodies. I won't say too much, but they report it, and then they have to give that original contractor an opportunity to go back and fix it. The customer then says, "I ain't having him back in my house," because it'd be shocking.
You wouldn't, would you?
Who in their right mind would go, "Yeah, I'll have him back in." So then you're in that argument going, "Okay, well, Mike, can you do that?" "Yeah, I can do. Here's my bill." "Oh, I'll pass it on." They're never going to get that. The money's gone, and there's no. And the problem is like with mine, my side of the company as such is that obviously we have an annual assessment and I have to choose the jobs. Now, what I think is wrong about that is I think they know what jobs I've done. It's all registered. Yeah. So I think they should just pick and go, I want 3 randoms, and if it's not up to standard, we're going to pay another contractor to do it, send you the bill, and then obviously you're going to be on like a 3-strike system or something like that, because then that way you've got a way of going, well, you're not good enough. Off you go.
And it does need to be regulated.
Do you not think they should do that in the building industry? Though? I do think.
I think it should be spread across.
If it was spread across all of the boards, you could say, right, we do it for the construction builders. You could then do it for the brickies. You could do it for the plumbers. You could do it for the electricians. Plasterers. And that way, then it just becomes a better world to work in. And then obviously, the whole image and the thought process of what people think and perceive of the industry completely changes.
And also, if let's say you've built a house and then I've come along and go, okay, I want an extension done, and you've built a house and it's all regulated, you go, yeah, brilliant, I'm quite happy to carry on like that. When you've got it, we've done ones before where they've had an extension done and the footings aren't even deep enough. We've brought the council straight out, hey, look, we've been told we can build straight on this, pull it down. And there's customers, so we're actually worse off than when we first started. And that's, again, these are people who are supposed to have been regulated and have had the inspections and stuff done, not done properly.
But really, then they should be really accountable, because if they're there to pass things off, there was a scenario that came up in the last podcast, where Dal had that scenario and he'd already said, look, building control had already been out and passed it off, and really they should be the ones who are accountable. They shouldn't just turn around and say, well, it's not our problem. Yeah. They should be accountable.
Putting a hand in the pocket.
Yeah. That's it.
That's what it all comes down to. It all comes down to money, doesn't it?
How's it done? It's regulated? Is it in Germany? I think it's regulated.
Yeah, it's regulated in Germany, Australia. It's all by code. Even in America, it's all by code. And Canada as well. You have to hit a certain bracket. They come in, they come and inspect all of your pipe runs, how it's all done, to say, there's no just throw it all in and then all of a sudden, there's the picture, or sort of not even that. I mean, here, I don't know any building control that I know of that actually comes out and inspects all of the pipe work, running through all the stud works. Then you have to then do a pressure test through all the system. I've never seen any of that in the UK.
Never happens. I mean, for us, we get asked, can you come and sign off my work? Not a chance. Absolutely not happening, because you don't know at all what's going on, how it's been run, prescribed zones, all this sort of stuff. You haven't got a clue.
That's the same. It's red flags. I get asked to, we've kicked the builder off, or a guy done a runner with my money. Can you come out? He's done this much. Can you come and take over? I'm like, no chance. And you feel for people, because quite often they'll have been put in a bad situation, but you can't put your name to what someone else has started and be confident that they've done it the right way if you didn't see the process.
We've got a loft conversion to do that was done, and we've got to put in, I think it's 10 steels that have not been put in.
Oh wow!
And this was built. It was built in the 80s or something like that.
Yeah.
And so we've got to take the whole roof off, and there's a lot of steel works. We've got to get cranes in and stuff like that to do it. And and you think, how the hell have you missed all this? Because he bought the house, and it's all been missed on loads of different times. And you think, okay, no problem. But
it was not like that. But I priced the job recently, and I didn't get it. So it's a old retaining wall that snapped, the Victorian age. It's really, really old. It's past its best. The ground that it's retaining behind is slowly starting to push it, and it's got bigger and bigger. I've gone in, priced it, and the engineering works that was the building belonged to, the wall belonged to, said, no, you're way too dear. I thought, who can come in and beat me on my own to do this?
Properly.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
I'm like, how can they beat me at this price?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, fine, fair enough. If they want to do it, and now she's messaging me, the lady, saying, "Can you come and show out? Can you come and show the build?" I went, "Yeah, I want 350 quid."
Because we had one like that.
Consultancy fee. That's it.
So we did all this. Cable designs, did all the first fix, and we were working for an interior designer at the time, and the homeowner who, let's say she had quite a lot of money and whatever she wanted, went. But she sacked our interior designer, so we were like, well, she pays us, so we work for her. So we went. She got another electrician in, and he said, we need all the cable plans and all your calculations for all the new mains going in and all the downlight plans and everything. No, you're not having them because we work for her. You've not paid her bill, so that means I've not been paid, so it's not happening, and it's all these things. You just think it's quite short-sighted, and this guy, they did get somebody else in, and you think he was rough.
The grass isn't always greener, is it?
No.
Okay.
And I think builders get a bad rap as well.
They do.
Because people would have seen that, they've stopped, they've been kicked off, and other companies come on, it was the builder's fault, obviously.
Because they're not going to turn around and say, do you know what, I was awful to her. Oh, come and work for me.
Really good. So you guys, Dave, you're an ambassador for Trust Buddy, isn't it?
Yeah.
An amazing battle as well. Really, really comfortable. I tried Alex's on. Anybody else ambassadors at all for any kind of brand or team? Or
no, I do a lot of representation for Bricklayer Social Club. Ashley Francis.
Ash, really good guy. So, really good guy.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it for me.
And Rob,
I'm an ambassador for the Lighthouse Club, construction industry charity, and Construction Sport as well.
Brilliant.
Steve over at Construction Sport.
Superb. Yeah.
So we're doing a big walk on next Monday.
I did hear that. Yeah, 26
miles.
26 miles.
He did it yesterday.
Yeah,
he went out and did it. But he cheated. Did the last 10 miles on a Boris bike, but we'll let him off.
We'll let him off that one.
So we're starting at Twickenham at midnight and walking all the way over to the XL Centre to open UK Construction Week, and I'll be there. And Steve and all his team. So he's leading all the mental health side of things at UK Construction Week.
That's really, really
so it
cool,
should be really, really good.
Excellent. And about yourself, Mike?
Yeah, well, we do a lot of deals with obviously tool manufacturers and stuff like that. That's what we generally do a lot of, because, like I say, we do push and promote a lot of. I like getting stuff sent to me from my apprentices, to be fair. And I do, and because I try and pass it on, because let's face it, I've got enough tools, and I know these lads are starting out, so I do.
How many tools do you need?
Never enough.
You look at the van and you're like, is there any more room for something else? But I mean, I work alongside like Super Rod and Klein and things like that.
Really
good. So it's really cool. So I'm really, really fortunate in that way. But I've got a really good working relationship with them. So, but so that's what I'm doing.
It is great getting free stuff. I'm very fortunate. I've got I do some work with Bisley Workwear as well.
Yeah, it's nice. I've seen that.
I've been championing them for a long time now, and it's great to be in a position where I get something back financially for it as well, which is nice. But the tool side of things, getting sent free tools, even like yesterday, I think a company called Carpenters Mate.
Yeah.
They messaged me out the blue, and they were like, "We've got some stuff that we'd like to try. Can we have your address?" And then I got a DPD message earlier saying the stuff's in the post and it's coming. I'm like, what is it? What is it? What have I got?
It's like Christmas.
Sometimes you can come home, and especially if it's companies that you've worked with in the past, I'm sure you know yourself, like you'll come home and there'll be a fresh parcel there and you're like, ooh.
Do you know what I find the hardest bit about it is when they go, Mike, I've got this tool, right? You go and try it. You can't film it yet. You can't tell anyone about it. And I've got a few at the minute, and so I make hints about it in my videos and stuff, and they're like, what is it? And the amount of DMs that you get, just let me know what it is. Really, I can't tell you, and it's so frustrating. But it's people will know eventually and stuff. But it is really cool. But I am quite good in the sense that I think when people say, would this be any good to you? And if it's not going to benefit me or the rest of the lads, I generally say, look, that's great, but I'd rather give it to someone else. I mean, I went on a live stream with eFix. If you don't know them, give them a follow. They're brilliant. They do a lot of about electrical apprentices and stuff. They're massive on YouTube and Instagram. And I won a tool on there, and I just said, donate it to an apprentice, a worthy apprentice. I don't need it. Just give it to someone else. I'm comfortable with what I've got, so just give it to someone else. And I think we should all do that.
I think the other thing with social media, something I do, because obviously I do get approached by a lot of brands to try stuff or whatever, and they get sent stuff. I will not promote anything on my page that I don't rate or I don't believe in, because I cannot be credible. And I try and keep my page really relevant, really credible, really honest. And I get sent some stuff, and if it's rubbish, I'll either won't feature it, or if the company asks me, "What's your honest opinion of it?" Tell us anyway. Then I'll say it.
I think that's key, isn't it? Is to keep your own integrity in what you're sort of putting out there, because it's that thing of people buying into that person, isn't it? And I've got to say, with all the channels, when I look at them, it's just like, you're actually given a true reflection, and this is all the stuff that we're actually using, which I think is absolutely brilliant.
Some of my mates on there, they take the mick and call me Discount Dave.
Discount
code for everything.
What's the code today, Dave?
It's like I say to them all, listen, you're benefiting from it, and I wouldn't tell you, I wouldn't put my name to it and say it's good if it's not. So
that's the thing. It's like with our sponsor for Tradify, you know, that's because obviously that's a job management software that we use, and we used it for genuinely a year before we were endorsed by them as such, and it is brilliant, and this is why we work so well together, because they go, we can tell you actually really like using the system, you know. And I think that's the thing is, I've used other systems and there's no way I'd promote it because it's just not there.
How about you, Dave? How do you because you're using this new software package, aren't
you? I'm using this new software package, and I've actually been, you know, back and forth with the owner, the creator of it and stuff, and I'm finding it really, really useful at the moment, and there's definitely little tweaks that need to be made and whatever, and obviously I'm giving him some feedback as well, which is nice. But price doc data has really helped me. It's sort of like an online QS that I can even just send my plans to, and within 24 hours back I get a really detailed breakdown of the quote that I can then forward on to the customers. It's got a live link for material prices when they change, and I think it's the future. It's definitely made a massive difference for me.
That's brilliant.
It means you can be really transparent with your clients as well.
And also whatever gives you time back in the evening, you know, with your family. Let's be honest,
the main thing we're all looking for, isn't it? Is more time in life.
Because it's not just the physical work you do, the electrical work or the bricklaying and everything else. It's that time in the evening that gets ate into.
People don't see that.
Exactly.
Which is twice as hard after a long day's graft as well.
You were saying, Ash, that your partner, your wife, gets really involved with your side and helps out on that side. Do you see that as a really good benefit, that you go out and do the graft and
since I've expanded and brought Siobhan on board, and since Siobhan started working for us, she's my aunt, by the way, Siobhan. But since I brought Siobhan on board, it's freed me up. As I've said all along, look, I'm a bricklayer that's ended up with a business, and trying to do the business side of things found it very mind-boggling. I found it very tough. Whereas, you know, go to work, you go into autopilot. Once you've done it for years, you know exactly what you're doing. You can just go autopilot and just do it. And what I found really hard was doing stuff that would probably take the next person 5 minutes to do, but it was taking me 5 hours. You know, and that's what I found. I got so frustrated with myself because I'm like, I can do it, but it's taking me so long. Time's precious at the end of the day. And then
you're dead right. I think everybody goes through that process, don't they? So even today, I think I definitely go through that process where I know it's that thing. It's just keep pushing yourself and then find the right people around you to help you do.
Taking hats off, isn't it? Basically,
exactly.
And it's just give someone else. So, like I said, the main phone line's gone to Mary now, so I don't answer any calls while I'm in the van or I'm working on the trial. Can you just send me a text because I ain't got a pen next to me? And so there's one hat that's
WhatsApp that over to me, will you?
That's great. And then say the same with tracking emails. I don't follow. I check them, but Siobhan, everything behind the scenes, all the emails, she corresponds back and forth with every customer that we've got, every site that we've got. And it frees me then to do exactly what I wanted to set out for in life anyway.
That's a great business plan though, mate, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, that's the best thing to do, because you're channeling the right energy to go to the right places, so it allows you to focus and do what you do really, really well.
And I think it's something that's probably stemmed from life growing up as well. So let's just say, for instance, something that my dad always said to me, so car's broke down. Instead of you going out and getting your brake calipers off and having to go and fix it yourself, so drop your car to the garage and you go to work for the day. You go and earn your money doing what you know you're doing. You're not stressing your brain out as well. It can be your mental health and stuff like that as well. Go and do your thing and pay the man that's qualified to do what he does. And I believe it's a saying, like I said, when you're starting your business off, the money isn't there to be able to take someone on straight away. So you do have to swim and drown for a little bit. But once you start getting a little bit of breath, and you can see the little bit and send it to somewhere else.
That's a great shot.
You know what I mean? And that's exactly what I've done the past few years. It just started bringing more and more people in. And so we've got a full-time accountant in now, which is expensive, but it's the money I pay him is not worth my time sitting down and doing it. I'd rather pay him and go and do a day's work. To
streamlining your business.
That's a great shot. It really is good.
It's hard, isn't it? You know, to really go. I mean, like for us, as we were chatting earlier on at lunch and stuff, like I am rubbish with.
Don't have lunches.
I mean, yeah. I'm sure I crackers with but yeah, like for me, I know I'm not very good at paperwork and stuff like that. I have enough to do with the electrical side. So the rest of the business stuff, it does my nut in. And not many people know, but I've got, like I say, 2 other business partners and stuff, and we're all on the tools. But we've now learned to go, right, that's Steve's job, so he does a lot of all the accountancy side of things, all the VAT stuff, and all that sort of bit. And and Steve does, Shawnee does a lot of the quoting side of things. So like now is we were chatting that when we were chatting outside, and we were saying that when you're going to do a quote on the construction side now, I don't normally go out. I used to, because I'm a control freak, so I was always like, no, I've got to go to that, and you're like, okay, that's brilliant, but I don't need to be there because I've got so much other stuff going on with the electrical part of the business and all the social stuff. I haven't got time. To be fair, like I say, I suffer with mental health, and my 2 other business partners have been brilliant. They would just say a lot. You can't do it all. You just can't do it all. It's impossible. You've got to let go. And it's really hard.
How long did it take you to let go?
I'll never let go properly. But yeah, I'll be honest with you. I would say I still ring up the lads if I'm not, because normally we're together, but quite often I try and I'm like the SAS of the company, so they don't really know what I do, and I just go off and do different bits and bobs, and it's hard because every night I'll still go, right, how have you got on today? What's happened here? Has that quote gone out, or is they not paid yet? There's all these sorts of things, so it's all about control, and it's. And sometimes they just don't answer. It's just easier. It's going to be an hour going on about this. But yeah, it's took a long time. Genuinely, still now, it's like my wife, bless her, she'll say, well, let them do it. You've got to let them do it. Because,
good advice,
you just can't do it all. And when you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger, you're just going to get burnt out like I did, it's not good.
When there's more, one thing we've done now, we've created a WhatsApp group and everyone just sends in, I just literally ask them, please just put a picture in, just something, and at least then it saves a phone call, so I can look at the site and be like, well, that cable's been done, that panel's been done.
That's a great
shout.
So that's what we do.
We've got a business partner WhatsApp group, and then we've got the whole construction site one. So we've got the 2, so if there's a problem, obviously, because some of them we don't like to. We've got 4 vans. We don't need to have the apprentices cars and stuff like that there as well. So we've got meet me at my house at this time. All that sort of stuff is brilliant for that. And also if the lads have got any issues that they're not quite sure on, they put it, because it doesn't just stem just to the construction. If they've got a problem outside of work, you can go, look, we're here. We've all been through it. Whatever it is.
It is a family.
It is a family.
You spend more time with them than anyone else.
Exactly.
That's the key. It is that you do. You're dead right, Dave. You spend so much time with these people, and you create that. You want this family sort of feel to it. And it's definitely, and I think the WhatsApp, the one thing I found with a lot of digital stuff, the creating like little WhatsApp groups and things like that, you communicate really easy. We even set one up with the merchant as well. So it's just, it makes everything fluid. And it just makes it a lot easier. So I'm trying to pick up the phone, you just send it through, it's done. It's definitely the way. It's a great shout, that.
That's what I say. Look, end of the day, I've not got a phone, 4 or 5 lads up. It's just brilliant.
That's where they're at the end of
the day. It's nice to talk to them as well. But end of the day, once everyone's finished their work, they want to shut off. That's why they work for us, for instance. Because we know we don't shut off. We just, no matter what, really. It's always ticking away.
Well, let's be honest, last time that you went to bed by 9, it's impossible.
Once you get older like me, mate, you do.
He falls asleep at half in his chair.
Sunday afternoon, I'm like this.
Is that you go into the office and shut the door? I'm in a meeting.
Have this recording tapping away,
No, he's still working, don't disrupt him.
Just got the fan on your mouth.
He's looking away. He's still working in there.
Bless him.
I suppose that's a good place to end this episode, I think.
Yeah, no, it is definitely. Excellent.
I think Tony needs to go for a nap. It's But no, thank you to all the guys coming on this podcast with us and chatting over the stuff that we spoke about today on it. And if there's anything that we spoke about today you want to know more about, please let us know in the comments. And if you'd like us to talk about anything in particular, let us know again. So guys, thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks guys.
So the sticker walls growing in the podcast room. Every time I come down, you get me on sticking stickers on the wall.
I do actually, because you're the man who putting the stickers on the wall now, Rob. We've actually nominated you as our ambassador.
I'm the official sticker But these ones are off DSP Building and Joinery, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys.
Let's stick it up.
Oh, where's he gonna go?
We'll go here,
Oh, look at that.
I'll have to get a level out for it. Thank you very much, guys, for sending them in. And if you've got your own stickers that you want to send them in onto the address, which will pop up somewhere, I'm sure it will. And I'll end up putting it on the wall.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Take care. See you soon.